Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to another Viva-Mundo webinar. Today we are heading over to picturesque Northern Ireland, where we will be hearing from students themselves at Ulster University and two representatives from the university. Today we are obviously using Zoom for our presentation. Well, it's more going to be interactive Q&A. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them throughout the whole webinar in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Or likewise, you can always ask in the chat. That is no problem at all. A little bit about Viva-Mundo and what we do. We are actually here to help students on to the next part of their international travels and studies. So if you have any questions about visa advice, countries to visit and things to do on your time abroad, that is what we're here for. All right, then I'm going to hand the floor over to you, Fard. How are you?
Thank you so much, Tav, and very good evening, good afternoon to everyone who's tuned in right now. My name is Fahad Asif. I work at Invest Northern Ireland, which is the regional economic development agency for Northern Ireland, and I'm based in Dubai and I look after the education sector. We're delighted that you've joined us today for this very special webinar where we'll be listening to students, alumni, and obviously staff from the University of Ulster about the study opportunities, various courses, scholarships, and other opportunities that are available in Northern Ireland for international students. First of all, I'll kickstart the conversation with Niall McAleer, who's the recruitment lead at Ulster University, looking after the Middle East region. Hi, Niall. Would you like to give us a quick overview of Ulster University and why students from the Middle East should consider studying at Ulster?
Thank you so much, Fahad. Great to be here. Thank you for those who have joined us today. It's a great opportunity for you to find out about Ulster University, a little bit about our overall offering. So we are a multi-campus university here in Northern Ireland, which is in the UK, and we have a student population of just over 26,000 students. So we're a large university, but we have a lot of sort of intimate elements of our university which make it feel like a very small community that you are part of. You have great support from our staff, from our representatives here in Northern Ireland to ensure that students have the best possible experience during their studies here in the UK. So we do have a really good range of courses across all different levels. So whether you're a student interested in foundation studies, a foundation program, if you're coming to do your first degree, your bachelor degree, if you're coming to do a master's program, or even research at PhD level. So we have a range of courses, and those courses spread across a number of different faculties and disciplines. So everything from arts, humanities, and social sciences. We have life and health sciences. We have computer engineering and the built environment, and we also have a business school. So a real platform of courses to hopefully meet the needs of our international students. We do have a really lovely representation of international students at our university, and today really is just a nice opportunity to showcase the experiences that our students from the Middle East region in particular have been having whilst studying at Ulster, and most importantly their whole living experience here in Northern Ireland. We're hoping that today really highlights that for our viewers who have joined us for this session.
Absolutely. Thank you, Niall. And it goes without saying that please do use the chat function. We want this session to be very interactive. So if you have any questions at any time, do pop them at the chat box and we will be taking them up and answering any queries that you have. We're delighted to have with us today two current students who are studying at Ulster at the minute, Leah and Ali. And we've also got Sabra, who's recently graduated and she's gone back to Oman and she's currently working there. So I'll kickstart the conversation with Sabra. Sabra, so what attracted you to Ulster?
Okay, my name is Sabra. I'm a fire safety engineer and lecturer at the International College of Engineering and Management. What attracted me to Ulster because I did my bachelor's degree in University of Central Lancashire, and after that I started working here in Oman, and then my employer offered me a scholarship, so I started looking into universities that offer fire safety engineering course, and that's how I chose Ulster University. Yeah, and in the beginning, why specifically I chose Ulster, because I have studied in UCLan and I'm quite aware of the British teaching system. So I thought that's the closest to me, like the closest option to choose.
Yeah. And same question to you, Ali. You're currently studying at Ulster. I know we were having a conversation just before the session started. So tell us about your story. Like how did you end up in Ulster and what attracted you? You're on mute as well. Sorry.
Nope, I just realized. Hello to everyone that's watching. My name is Ali. I'm a student doing computer science at Ulster University. But yeah, like we were saying earlier, I didn't even know that Ulster existed up until a month before I came to the university, because I had plans to study in Australia, and the university had an event run in my country. So I attended, and the university just caught my attention, the way they do their assessments, the courses they offer, the campuses they have all across the Northern Ireland. And then my interest just started growing and growing. And as I kept on researching, I fell in love with the nature side of the country as well. The history of it is beautiful. And just all around, it's a really beautiful place to come and study at. And this is why I chose Northern Ireland.
Yeah. What about you, Leah?
Actually, I went through an agent during the so we were university hunting, and there were so many options and universities to choose from. But I remember she recommended me Ulster University because it was really safe for me to go to. You know, being a girl and being outside from my country and far away from home. And I remember she said there's so much things to explore there. The nature side, the people were so sweet. I remember when I came here with my mom at the beginning, we were just in the road, you know, having multiple suitcases, and people were so friendly, helping us around, helping us navigate the place. So it was a really nice place to come, and it was a good option to come.
Absolutely. And I guess just touching up on the same point, so a lot of the students, obviously applying to universities is quite a complicated task. There are lots of paperwork involved, there are deadlines, etc. So starting from you, Sabra, obviously you had done an undergrad in the UK already, but how was the application process and getting acceptance?
Yeah, it was quite new for me, because when I did my bachelor's degree, the scholarship was already prepared. So I just had to go to UCLan, but in Ulster, I had to do the process by myself. It was quite easy. And I was in contact with the student support from Ulster. They were always emailing me on what to do, what are the things that I should do, also about the visa and fees and things like that. So it was quite easy because they were guiding me along the way. Yeah.
Well, what about you, Ali?
I'm sorry, it was cutting out for me. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so how was the process of getting acceptance? So applying to study at Ulster and then finally getting the offer. How was your experience?
So I used to work with a university agent, and all we had to do was get our papers ready, fill out our forms and send them to the team. And the team were very helpful at like the registration office. Any question we had, any inquiry, they were getting back to us. And as soon as you get your paperwork in, it's just a matter of them finishing the processing and you get your offer.
And was it similar for you, Leah, as well?
Yeah, exactly what he said. You know, it was easy just as long as you get the paperwork done and you have all the paperwork needed. It's just a matter of sending it.
And I'd like to bring you in to this question, Niall. So first of all, like, what are the key deadlines and what are the key things that students should keep in mind, particularly students that are looking to start in September 2021? And then there's a question around employer engagement as well.
Yeah, perfect. So for us at Ulster, there are a few of our courses that have early deadlines. For example, our undergraduate nursing program, our deadline for that is back in January. But for around 99% of our courses, our deadline for September 2021 is Sunday, the 8th of August. So students can make a direct application to the university for both undergraduate or master's programs right up until the 8th of August. After that process, there are other steps that you will need to follow in terms of getting a visa, accepting your place. And again, those deadlines typically are around the end of August. And the reason for that is simply to allow students enough time to apply for a visa, get their visa, organise accommodation, flights, etc., for arriving into the UK. So those deadlines are in place simply to ensure students do get to the university in a suitable amount of time so that they can join our inductions and ensure that they get settled before their actual courses really do start.
Hmm. And there's a question around how does the university help with networking with employers and post-study work opportunities and career prospects?
Yeah, so I suppose one of the benefits of being an international student and coming on a study visa is that you have the ability to work part-time whilst you are studying. This is a really good way, not just about some additional income to support your day-to-day living, but it's also a great way to meet local people and to integrate within the local society by being part of a workplace. In regards to helping with jobs, so the university itself does have a career centre. Students can visit those career centres for advice and guidance if you need help preparing a CV, if you need direction on how to look for a job or where to look for a job. And then additionally, within each particular faculty, our course directors are typically quite well linked with the industry in which they are teaching within. So quite often if opportunities come, sometimes it may be a placement opportunity, it may be voluntary work, it may be a paid opportunity. Those would be put forward from course directors as well. So there are a number of opportunities students can get support with in order to find that employment. Because many of our courses, and Ali and Leah probably will be able to highlight and pick up upon this as well, but many of our undergraduate courses, particularly within engineering and computing, the degree programs themselves actually have an integrated 1-year placement, which is a paid placement for 1 year in your chosen industry. And again, those are supported by the connections that we as a university have with local employers, and those opportunities are passed to our students so that when they actually graduate, they have the academic skills and abilities that they learn from their course, but they also then have that industrial experience, which really does put them at an advantage over some other institutions and courses that they may have considered. And then finally, I suppose the last part of the question is with regards to post-study working. We are aware, obviously, in the UK, the graduate route has been introduced where students can stay for a further 2 years. This is fantastic, particularly for students who have possibly had a placement year during their degree. It's quite likely if they have maintained that relationship or rapport with that particular organisation, it may lead to an opportunity of graduate employment within that organisation as well. And the benefit of the post-study work or the graduate route visa is that the student would be able to accept a job knowing they have the correct visa to allow them to work full-time after they graduate.
Okay, cool. There's a question on university accommodation. So Ali and Leah, are you currently in university accommodation? What is the experience? What can you share about the university accommodation?
Leah, do you want to go first?
I can go first, or you can go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I live in students' halls at the moment. So we share 4 rooms, but we just share a kitchen. We have our own bathroom. And it's great living here because we have so many facilities that we could use. We have a gym right downstairs. We have a common room with a TV, sofas, a billiard. It's quite lovely. Even we have a cinema room, we have a common kitchen, an art room. So there's so many facilities that you can, go and check out just in the room itself in the same building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm having a similar experience to Leah as well over here at this. I'm actually in a different building to Leah at the moment, but it's under the same company. And one of the benefits of being in their buildings is that you can use whatever facilities at the other buildings. So because we don't have a gym over here, I could still use the gym over at Leah's, and that allows me to meet more people and make more friends as I go. And yeah.
And how far is that from campus then, and from your classes and library?
My campus is right in front of me, just right
Okay.
here. So it's just
Okay.
crossing the road, like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's very
Yeah.
significant.
It's but my building, like the one at Great Patrick Street and Little Patrick Street, are just over the road from the Belfast campus, but the
Yeah.
other ones are also around the city and closer to other campuses.
And what about you, Sabra? Did you stay in university accommodation as well during your time?
No, I didn't. We rented a private apartment because my husband was back there in the UK. So we just rented an apartment together. I lived in Newton Abbey, which is like 10 to 15 minutes away. I used to take a bus every morning. So there's a bus that drops me right at the university. So it was quite easy and accessible.
And what would, so that's really interesting, guys. So you can see the comparison. So Leah and Ali are staying in university halls, and Sabra chose to stay privately. For international students, both the options are available, and there's plenty of choice. Niall, is there anything that you'd like to add in this?
I suppose really the accommodation that we do offer can be tailored for your individual needs and budget. So if you, for example, are looking for your own private room and ensuite and your own kitchen, we do have studio apartments. We have single occupancy where you share with up to four, 5 or 6 other people. And then we also have some double apartments, so for like a twin occupancy apartments. Within that as well, we can also try and tailor it for your specific needs. So if you want male or female only, Leah, I'm aware you're in a female only accommodation, aren't you, at the moment? And we also have, if, for example, you want to be in an apartment or a level of the building where there is no alcohol, you can request that as well. So depending on your needs, the university can support that within your budget as well.
Excellent. So there's a question for Sabra from Mohammed. Can you tell us specifically about the fire safety masters? Like, what did you like and what didn't you like, and what would you recommend to new students in this field?
The course was quite easy, I would say, and also what I liked the most, and I discussed this with Niall before, that I felt that the staff or the lecturers themselves are quite expert in the field that they are teaching, and most of the lecturers were researcher or they were working in the same field that they teach. For example, I remember Ali Najai, he's a fire safety consultant, but he also teaches at the college, so you somehow get the opportunity to learn how does it work outside of the university life or university study. And also what I like that they were always, as you have mentioned, that there is so much opportunity. Whenever a job opportunity comes up, we were always aware, they were always informing us about that. And also I like that they have the facility. There is a fire laboratory. It's a real size fire laboratory that you can actually do fire experiments in it. That's what I like the most about it.
Okay. And now there's a question around COVID. So can you tell us what support the university has had in place for COVID over the last sort of year, and what were the plans moving forward? I know it's a fluid situation, but what can you tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very understandable, this question. This is the current circumstance that we are all in at the moment. It's a very relevant question. To give you an idea, we as a university continued to provide our education and our service throughout the entire pandemic. We had to adapt, as did many businesses and institutions. So we introduced an arrival pack, a self-isolation pack for our new students that were arriving in. And the point of this was to ensure the safety of our students and the safety of our staff. And that particular package allowed a student to have an airport pickup. So we arranged all of that for the student when they arrived into Belfast. A taxi brought you personally by yourself to the university accommodation. We had a specific accommodation for that student to self-isolate for a 2-week period. Included within the price of that, there was a food hamper for the first few days, plus a voucher for students to then purchase online shopping. And we then, with our accommodation, there is always members of staff or security who are available 24/7, so that should a student have any needs or an emergency request, that there is someone on hand to try and support them with their day-to-day needs. And then once students completed that self-isolation period, depending on which campus they were on. So here in Northern Ireland, we have 4 campuses for Ulster University. So students, once they had completed self-isolation in our dedicated blocks for self-isolation, they were then given, again, part of the service, a taxi to whichever accommodation or campus they were then going to be studying on. So that support was there. In addition to that, I suppose many of our classes were moved to an online capacity. And I suppose perhaps today some of the students might be able to talk a little bit about what experience they had of online and on campus. But that gives you an idea of what we did to support students on arrival and during that transition period of safety when they arrive.
Yeah. And I guess just, on a similar theme, then Ali and Leah, so you're currently in the middle of a pandemic, you're in Belfast, you're going through your lectures and everything. So how has the experience been of sort of this blended online learning? And there's a question around, how has it been in terms of making friends and socializing during this time? Ali?
Well, it definitely is scary and does feel weird sometimes, just like anyone would feel around the world. But Ulster University does a really good job of taking care of their students during the pandemic. And whenever we have to attend something on campus, all the precautions are there. The hand sanitizer stations are all across the university. There are proper social distancing measures inside the university. So it really gives you more of a sense of security when you have to attend classes on the university that you can't do online. But even then, when we have our online classes and lectures, our lecturers also make sure that we have enough breaks where we can de-stress and restart and refresh instead of being clustered and feeling like you're crammed with work in your environment that you're working from.
And what about making friends?
With making friends as well, because on the lectures there is a chat area, and like I said, the lecturers understand that we're going through a pandemic, so they would leave some time at the end of the lecture or at the beginning for us to socialize in the chat section, and that's where we created our group chats and started meeting from there.
Excellent. Yeah. What about you, Leah?
Because my course was blended, half online and half on campus during the entire semester 1 and 2. So there were a couple of times we did go on campus, and then is where we used to socialize us, socially distancing, wearing our masks. And we got each other's contact information and stayed in contact, had groups. And even during, online classes, we had support from our lecturers, we had their emails, we had their contact information to keep in touch if we had any questions or any issues. Even submission issues or assignment issues, there was always support during the entire study year.
Excellent. And my next question to both of you is, when you look at your experience studying in Belfast and Northern Ireland, what would you say like your best experiences have been, if you had to pick like top 3 things that you've really enjoyed about Northern Ireland or Belfast?
Yeah. Of me. All right. Well, I would say the top favorite thing I did was when I hiked Slieve Binnion in the Mourne Mountains. It was just a very nice atmosphere. The air was clean. The views were amazing. I was having good company at the time as well. The second thing would be doing all the picnics around Belfast. There are plenty of gardens and ponds and lakes to be around Belfast. The docks area is also nice, so I like to go around with my friends and would have picnics there all the time. And the third thing would be shopping around Northern Ireland. Surprisingly, like it's very, very nice to shop around Belfast. I'm not a very shopping person.
Yeah. What are your favorite places to go and shop?
Victoria Square is one of my favorite places to shop. Everything is over there.
Excellent. What about you, Leah?
my favorite places might be Cave Hill. It was my first time hiking a huge, hill. We went up and the view was amazing. I was speechless. It was pretty cold, but worth it definitely. And maybe the Titanic Museum. I came here shocked that they made the Titanic, and
Yeah.
the museum was quite lovely as well, the Ulster Museum. There are so many, spots to visit here. It's always an adventure.
Mm. Don't know if Sabra is still with us. Sabra, we're talking about best experiences in Northern Ireland. So what would you say, looking back at your time when you studied in at Ulster in Northern Ireland, what were your best three memories or best three experiences?
I love the nature a lot, so it makes me really happy when I adventure and explore the nature. I have visited quite a few places like Torimo Forest, Port Rush, which is at the north. It's really beautiful destination, and the Giant Causeway, which is it's beautiful. It's really amazing. The Giant Causeway is like one of the wonders in the world. So most of the things that I enjoyed are out in the nature.
Excellent, excellent. And I'll just bring you into the conversation as well. There are a few questions around scholarships as well. So what can you tell us about the different scholarships that Ulster offers, particularly for students from the Middle East region?
Yeah, absolutely. So here at Ulster, we have a number of automatic scholarships, I suppose, for students who are applying from the Middle East region. And these are typically awarded to students who are self-funded. So if you're paying for your fees and tuition yourself, then these scholarships are in place to try and help support those particular students. So we have what is called our international scholarship, for undergraduate and postgraduate applicants. So if you are self-funded, you will automatically receive a £2,000 discount off your tuition. In addition to that, we do have some course-specific scholarships that are available. They are on our website and they do change from year to year. So for example, last year and again this year, we have what is called our Dr. George Moore Data Science Scholarship, and that was an additional discount for that particular course. And we also had an MA in TESOL, for example, we had a discount for that particular course. So it really does depend, but I guess the main point is that the automatic scholarship of £2,000 will apply to students from all over the Middle East and Gulf region. So that is applied automatically. In addition to that, one special scholarship that we have in addition is for self-funded students that are coming in on a foundation course. Students will get a £2,000 discount off their tuition, but we now have a £2,000 discount off your accommodation as well. So that is an additional scholarship. So that is a total of £4,000 scholarship that students would be getting here at Ulster.
Mm. And just on that theme, Niall, you talked about the undergrad, the foundation, the masters. In terms of subject areas, then what would you say are the key emerging areas that Ulster is offering courses in? A lot of students are confused about what they want to study, and as we see, the world is changing, with technology and everything else around us. So what would you say are some really interesting courses that Ulster is offering, which students should consider in terms of their study plans?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the offering that we do have, students coming in at bachelor degree level, we really do have a huge variety of courses. Those who are, for example, interested in business, you can obviously do something like international business or economics. Courses that are becoming more and more popular are subject areas such as human resource management, and obviously accounting, marketing. Those are some big courses that most business schools will offer, but they are very, very attractive for students. But if we look, for example, at our life and health science programs, we, for example, have an integrated master's, which is a pharmacy undergraduate course. Ulster is actually ranked number 2 in the whole of the UK for this particular course. So students coming from a chemistry background, this is going to be a very good opportunity to get a very well established and very well renowned programs such as that. We do other specific courses such as biomedical sciences or even optometry. Optometry, we are actually ranked first in the UK for that particular course. And they are small numbers of students in the classes. The facilities are top of the range. And then you're going to have, for example, your computing and engineering. Obviously, we have Leah and Ali with us today, and that's the sort of faculty that they sit within. Yeah. But there really is a huge offering across that, everything from electrical, mechanical, civil, mechatronic, artificial intelligence engineering, a huge range to cater for the industries that students will progress on to in terms of employment. And then finally, really within arts and humanities, there is everything from, you know, again, communication, journalism, animation, law. And then just basically in terms of master's programs, things that really do stand out. Sabra has joined us today. Fire safety engineering as a master's, there are less than 5 universities in the UK offering this at a master's level. So it is a very, very unique course. And as Sabra mentioned early in her talking a little bit about the course and what she liked, we can very safely and confidently say that the facilities that Ulster have for fire safety engineering are state of the art. They are world-class facilities to conduct the types of work and research that we do in that particular field. But again, across master's courses, we have everything across all of those faculties as well. But fire safety really does stand out as a very unique course that we have to offer.
And I guess one of the things that makes Northern Ireland quite unique is the ecosystem where the universities work very closely with the industry and the different companies. And that's where Invest Northern Ireland comes in as well. Like, we work across all sectors, and there's a lot of synergy between academia and the real world, in terms of innovation, startups, and so on. Sabra, I'd like to quickly bring you into the conversation. You obviously studied fire safety engineering. You're back in Oman, now you're teaching, you're in academia. So what would you say, what are the key things? So in terms of your experience, how did that degree at Ulster prepare you in your career that you're in at the minute?
As I joined the college, I was an assistant lecturer, and after I got my master's, I upgraded into a lecturer. So how it prepared me, I feel like also fire safety course here in Oman is not quite popular. We're actually the only college in the Gulf that teaches fire safety engineering. So it's quite a unique course, as you have mentioned, and also going into Ulster and getting the certificate helped me a lot here. And also now the business of fire safety consultancy is blooming and it's becoming quite popular here as well in Oman. So that's also another sector to consider.
And Ali, what are your future plans?
Well, I plan on, like, after I graduate from here, to work for a few years here in Northern Ireland, and then who knows, maybe I move here, or maybe I go and find another opportunity in somewhere else, or maybe I even move back home. But it's really hard to say what's going to happen here after I graduate, but it most likely looks like I would like to work over here, Northern Ireland.
Yeah, and have you thought about like what industry you'd like to sort of work in? Like, what are the opportunities there? Do you like keep an eye out on the developments taking place?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of focused on going into the cybersecurity field. So after I graduate, I'm thinking I will maybe work for 3 or 4 years and then do my master's in cybersecurity.
What about you, Leah?
I'm currently studying civil engineering, and hopefully I'm going to do my placement here, after 2 years, and then, get a job, hopefully, and then get a master's degree as well. And then who knows what happens from then.
Yeah. Niall, we've got some questions around English language requirements. So maybe if you could give a quick overview of the broad academic and English language requirements that are needed to get into foundation, undergraduate, and postgraduate courses.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of students coming directly from school, depending on the curriculum that you have studied, you may be able to get direct entry. So for example, if you have completed A-levels, international baccalaureate, SATs, students may be eligible for direct entry and meet the academic criteria that way. If you do not meet that academic criteria, then you would be eligible to go forward for a foundation program. And this basically is a bridging program for that academic difference in your high school qualification. In terms of academic qualifications for a master's program, typically we do require second class lower division as the minimum. Some courses will specifically request a 2-1, which is a second class upper division, but typically it's around having achieved between 50 and 60% in your bachelor degree in your home country. In terms of English requirements then across all of those programs, typically we do require an IELTS of 6.0. We do accept a number of different English language tests. They are all on our website, and students can look to see if they do. We accept, for example, Pearson. We do accept some local curriculums as part of that requirement. And then finally, if you do not meet that criteria of 6.0, we do offer pre-sessional English, which is a 7 or an 11-week program of English, which is conducted over the summer period. And we can accept students with an IELTS of 5.0 or 5.5 for the slightly shorter period. Our extended pre-sessional has now passed, so anyone who's looking to apply right now, this moment, it would be the 5.5 IELTS that we would require for that.
And could you give us a sense of what the costings are in terms of tuition fees? Are they based around the disciplines or levels of study?
So typically our foundation program and our degree programs are all £14,910. That is the tuition for this academic year, September 2021. Like I said earlier, international students from the Middle East will get that £2,000 discount if you are self-funded. So the fee would then drop to £12,910. In terms of our master's programs, the majority of them, around 90% of those programs, are also £14,910. There are a few of our master's programs that have an extended or an advanced practice element where they run over a 2-year period. And these programs typically sit around the £17,000 to £19,000 price range. But again, the £2,000 scholarship discount would be applied for those.
Mm. And just another question, Niall, does the university offer mental health services, and do students need to have their own individual health insurance when they travel to Northern Ireland to study?
Yes. So in terms of insurance, yes, students are required to have health insurance when they arrive. That is so that when you are here, you have access to the NHS service and any other sort of medical services that you need when you are here. And that is something that you will be guided through when you're applying for your visa. It's part of that process as well. In terms of mental health, when you're at the university, we do have student well-being. So student welfare basically is of primary importance, particularly in the current climate where these unfamiliar times require that additional support for certain students, and well, in fact, for all students really, and staff. So one of the key teams that we have here is our International Student Experience Team. We call it the ISE, and their key role is to ensure that students are given the correct information and support when they are coming to travel to Northern Ireland, but also as well during their entire academic studies. If they have any well-being support required or pastoral care or support, that team is there to advise students on support services that we have both in the university, but also external agencies here in Northern Ireland that they can help refer students to should they need any additional support.
Mm. And Sabra, while you were studying at Ulster, did you get involved in any societies or clubs, or did you utilize any of the support services that the university offers?
Yeah, I used to join the activities that are arranged by the student union. They were at the beginning when we joined, there were quite a few activities. I used to join those. And also I have joined the university when they did a culture night. I also joined that as well.
Okay. What about you, Ali?
Last year I was attending many of the activities that the student union would organize, but because of COVID, I never had the chance to enjoy the rest of the activities, and we had to go home and cut our year short.
Yeah. What about you, Leah?
Same thing happened, we started just getting introduced to unions, and other activities, and then we had to return back during the pandemic in March.
Mm. Okay, and another question for you, Sabra, as well is, obviously when you were thinking of applying, you looked up the course and everything, you'd done all the research. When you actually moved to Northern Ireland and Belfast, like what were the things that really surprised you, or things that you were sort of pleasantly sort of surprised by, seeing that you not imagined when you were actually doing your research?
I was surprised mostly about the people, how friendly they are, because I have lived in England before, and in Northern Ireland, people are so welcoming and they're so friendly. Like you cannot pass by somebody without asking how you're doing, how's your day, how is everything. You always just have a small chat, a small talk whenever you see anybody outside. They're quite friendly. And yeah, I was surprised about the nature because I haven't seen Northern Ireland. I haven't searched it before, so it was quite nice to see.
What about you, Ali?
I definitely agree with Sabra. Everybody here is just so friendly. Like look at Niall brushing over there. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met here. And the other thing I would say is the weather. I was like shocked by the amount of rain that happens here.
Yeah.
But it does give back in terms of green, because the place over here is very, very, very green and beautiful.
Yeah. What about you, Leah?
I agree with Ali, in the winter it's quite cold and raining, but in the summer it's beautiful. Like I haven't seen Belfast this pretty during the summer before, because last year unfortunately I didn't get the chance, but this year, it's 19 degrees, sunny, beautiful, people friendly, walking around, everything's back to normal slowly. So that's
Yeah.
great to see.
Yeah. And Niall, in terms of logistics, then, just tell us a little bit about, how connected Belfast is to the rest of the UK and the Republic of Ireland, and internationally as well, students from the Middle East, how easy and convenient is it to get to Belfast?
Yeah, absolutely. So Northern Ireland, we actually have, Belfast has 2 airports. So it does serve a number of different destinations. Typically, students coming in from the Middle East region will fly directly into London Heathrow and then connect to Belfast City Airport. That is the most straightforward route. It's the route that I personally take, going back and forward in that region. And typically that's where our students come in. In terms of flight time, for example, from Belfast to London, it's around a 50-minute to 1 hour flight. So it's very, 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 very short. In terms of other key destinations, we're aware, obviously, that students will know some of the bigger named cities like Edinburgh in Scotland, or Swansea in Wales, or Cardiff in Wales, Manchester, Birmingham. So from Belfast, there are flights to all of these destinations, and the average time is between 30 minutes and 1 hour. So it is very, very well connected. There are also a number of boat and ferry services between Northern Ireland and Scotland, England, and Wales. So again, depending on where you need to go, there are definitely connections that are there.
And there's a question on visas, Niall. So quickly, can you give us an overview of what the visa requirements are, and would the university help students through the process?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important that students, before they commit to accepting their place, that they are aware of their financial sort of circumstances. It's important that you are aware that you can afford the tuition of your course. But in addition to that, you must remember that you will also have living costs when you come to the UK as well. The visa process is quite straightforward if you have all of your documents and information gathered. We do have a dedicated visa compliance team who will guide you through that process. We currently use a system called CAS Shield, and it's basically an interactive platform where the platform is here in the middle. We have our visa team on one side and a student on the other. So we will request information through this platform. You will upload all of the documents that we require. We will confirm that everything is placed. If you need to adjust anything or update anything or provide further information, we will request it through this platform, and then you will be issued with what is called a CAS. So this is a particular document that you can use for applying for your visa. And again, our team here at the university will be able to guide you through step by step. Some of our students, perhaps anyone watching today, we do have a number of agencies that are based around various countries within the region, and they can also help and assist students both with their application and also with the visa application process as well. But certainly as a university, our key job is to support you with that. And we have hundreds of international students that arrive every year and have applied for their visas through the university. So we're very well equipped to support students.
Okay. And Sabra, final question from you, like what would your message be to all the students that are watching you, listening to you from the Middle East region who are confused about all these different options that they have, in the UK and overseas? What would your final message be to them?
I really encourage them to choose Ulster University. It was a really great experience, and I always recommend my friends or any colleagues that are wanting to complete their masters to choose Ulster because it's a really good destination. And I also think that in Ulster I got the opportunity to study different building codes than the one that I use in Oman. So it was quite broadening, and I expanded my knowledge in that field specifically. So it's a safe country. It's really beautiful. The people are friendly. The living cost is not really, really expensive. And I really recommend people study there.
And what about you, Ali? Final thought?
I agree with Sabra as well, because this place is a very nice place. The nature, there is always something to do with nature. There is always something to do with the city. The university is really good. The staff is supportive. The lecturers are very well qualified and incredibly smart people. It's just like from every direction, it feels like the right choice.
Great. And Leah?
Yeah, like they said, living cost is really good here. People are so friendly and sweet. Ulster University is a really good university. You have your support from lecturers, support from your friends. It's a really good place to be. And I love, exploring the nature all the time, having a fun time with friends. There's always to do. Even during a pandemic, you could still, go out, explore the nature. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, perfect. And final thoughts, Niall?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose really, as we see our international students continue to come, quite often it's through referrals where people tell friends and family about their experience. And, no matter what we do, if a student has a good experience, it does encourage them to want other people to have that experience as well. I know, for example, Leah has a sister who is quite keen to come and join Ulster. And Sabra, the other day you mentioned as well, you have spoke to friends about coming to do your particular course in fire safety. So, that is not something that we are actively going to specifically promote to these people, but actually our students are speaking their own minds, and their experiences are what are telling people that Ulster is a good destination, and that Northern Ireland really does have a lot to offer students in terms of what you will gain academically, culturally, socially, and just give you an all-round experience for you as a person to grow and hopefully, be a really good starting point for you to develop your career to the next level.
Great. Thank you, Niall. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Leah. And a special thank you to Sabra as well. It's her birthday. Thank you, Sabra. Happy birthday to you. And, for taking time out. And a big thank you to the BMI team as well for putting all of this together. Ulster University will be in touch. Niall's contact details are in the chat box as well. Feel free to reach out to him. And now I'll hand over back to Stav for the closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Fahad. That was a brilliant webinar. Very informative, lots of questions there asked. And please do note that this has been recorded, so we will be sending you the recording in an email in the next week or so. So you'll be able to go back if you have any questions that weren't answered, and go and have a look at what else was discussed today on the webinar. So thank you to all of you, and for taking the time to give us some information about Ulster and Northern Ireland. The rest is up to you and what you decide to do, but I would definitely suggest the UK. Perfect. All right, any last words or thoughts, anyone? No?
I would just urge people to come to Northern Ireland and Ulster University because it's still small, nobody knows about it, and if you come here you can make the most out of it before everybody floods it.
Point, yes.
Amazing. All right. Well, if that's it, I'm gonna let you guys go. And Sabra, enjoy your birthday evening. And thank you so much. But yes, we will be in touch. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.